In a world where information is so readily available, it's surprisingly hard to go through all of it and find what you're actually looking for. All news organizations either have an agenda themselves or are told what to say by somebody with an agenda. So today we're going to cover a question that I, and probably a lot of other people, are wondering. What the hell happened to Monsanto? I talk about stuff. For those who have not been keeping up with the news in the past year, there was a lawsuit that ended in August of 2018 started by a man named Dewayne Johnson. No, not that one. Yes, there you go. He had terminal cancer that was ruled to have been caused by Monsanto's Roundup. Roundup, according to Monsanto's own website, is a herbicide introduced in 1974 that contains glyphosate, and is now registered in more than 130 countries and more than 100 crops. Johnson's lawsuit was a success against Monsanto, acquiring him $289 million, which, because of his terminal condition, he unfortunately won't be able to use much of. Now, I know there are a lot of people out there who say Monsanto has done nothing wrong and GMOs aren't harmful, which I would agree that not all genetic modification is harmful. In fact, I think we could and have done the world a lot of good with GMOs. But when it comes to Monsanto, they use their powers as food overlords to create a monopoly on produce. Monsanto does not allow any farmers who buy their seeds to save them from one year to the next. This law has resulted in Monsanto suing over 100 farmers in court and 700 farmers out of court. That's $23 million in just in-court settlements. There's a specific genetic modification that Monsanto has patented 20 years ago, which would render all their plants they sold sterile. Now, these seeds are not sold, and I have my own personal theories about why this is. Because if all Monsanto seeds were sterile, they wouldn't be able to put opposing farmers out of business for keeping their seeds. This is complete speculation, but I think it's a high possibility for a company with such a shady background. I am of course referring to the multiple other wonderfully toxic chemicals that Monsanto has been banned from producing in the past. Some of these include Agent Orange, which was used in World War II for herbicidal warfare. PCBs, which were produced by Monsanto up until the 1960s, and were used in many electrical and heating systems and ended up contaminating food and water sources, and were confirmed to have definite carcinogens. And a few other smaller cases on different chemicals. What a fantastic company. They're all rainbows and toxic waste, am I right? Speaking of shady backgrounds, another delight of a company purchased Monsanto for $66 billion in June. What company could have this much to spend at one time? Of course, the 14th largest pharmaceutical company in the world, Bayer. Bayer is known mostly for its development of aspirin in the 1890s, but as always, it's the things that are less known that are more notable. In the early 1900s, Bayer used heroin as a substitute for morphine because they said it was less addictive. It was used mostly to treat a cough. Easy mistake, I'm sure they had no idea that the drug they mass-produced for 20 years was incredibly addictive. Now Bayer, being a German company, obviously had to have some sort of interaction with World War II and the Holocaust. Unfortunately, the interaction they had was setting up quite a bit of Auschwitz. They had over 300,000 slaves working for them to create concentration camps, many of them being Auschwitz prisoners themselves. Bayer had physicians performing experiments on many women around this time. One of the messages intercepted said, "The transport of 150 women arrived in good condition. However, we were unable to obtain conclusive results because they died during the experiments. We would kindly request that you send us another group of women to the same number and at the same price." And you guys thought I was over-exaggerating on how disgusting this company is. And now it has ownership over the largest agricultural company in the world and the 14th largest pharmaceutical company in the world. I have to say, we're in for a ride. But of course, I don't mean to fearmonger. There's always ways of fixing problems. That's why I'm making this video, so that perhaps some of the people watching it can come up with a solution. And now it's time for our word of the day. And today our word of the day is logophile. Logophile is a noun that means lover of words. And if you actually listen to all the words of the day, I'm sure you already know what it means to be a logophile. So thank you all for watching. I know I got a little dark at the end there. But just remember that we're all along for a ride, and if it's out of our control, the best thing you can do is raise awareness for it. Make sure to check the video description if you're interested in sources. Remember to leave a like and subscribe for weekly videos and an upcoming podcast, and tune in next week for another video. Peace.